Evening, guys. How you doing this evening? It's me once again with another video. Um, Focusing on U.S. Navy Admiral Chester W. Nimitz. Nimitz was born and raised in Cartilage, Texas, around in the late 1800s. And when he was young, he became the first to be appointed to the Naval Academy at Annapolis. And after 4 years at Annapolis, Nimitz had graduated. And during World War I, Nimitz was a commanding officer of a submarine and later a cruiser, and he went through a number of other ships through his career during World War I and right into the post-war era. And later, Nimitz would rise to the occasion just prior to after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor that Chester W. Nimitz would replace Husband E. Kimmel, the commanding officer of the U.S. 7th Fleet at Pearl Harbor. Just a few days after Kimmel was sacked, after his debacle just after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Nimitz was the head of the U.S. 7th Fleet, based out of Pearl Harbor, and where a number of our forward bases in the Pacific. And he was known as one of the best fleet admirals in the U.S. Navy, besides Mark Fletcher, Raymond Spruance, and William F. Halsey, just to name a few. Nimitz was the man who got the order from President Franklin Delano Roosevelt just a week before April the 18th, 1943. And the order was to assassinate Admiral Isaguro Yamamoto on April the 18th, 1943. A flight of P-38 Lightnings took off. The mission was to shoot down Admiral Isaguro Yamamoto's G4M Bay, and Yamamoto's Bay was shot down, and Japan lost one of its heroes. And throughout Nimitz's career during the Pacific War, he would become one of the greatest fleet admirals in the history of the U.S. Navy, and he would lead the U.S. Navy, and he would form the U.S. Navy's Blue Angels in 1945 at Craig Field in Jacksonville, Florida, later before the team was to move to Pensacola Naval Air Station. And Nimitz was based out of San Francisco throughout most of his career before his untimely ending, when he had passed away from a heart attack. He was only 65 years old. And some years later, the U.S. Navy was planning its first generation of nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. And it was in 1969 the Navy decided to go with the Nimitz class aircraft carriers. There were to be a total of 10 that were to be built throughout most of the Nimitz career. From the time the USS Nimitz CBN 68 right up to the Carl Vinson, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, John C. Stennis, Ronald Reagan, and George H.W. Bush. Just the name of those 10 carriers. Now that's it on the history of Admiral Chester W. Nimitz. If you like this video or my other videos, please check me out at any time that you please. So anyway, like always, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you around.